Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video we will learn the types of cancer. So coming to the types of cancer, there are different types of cancer. In that, the first type of cancer is carcinoma, and the second one is sarcoma, and the third one is lymphoma, and fourth one is leukemia, and the fifth one is melanoma. So now we will learn one by one. We will start with the first one, that is carcinoma. So the carcinoma is a type of cancer. It is the cancer of the epithelial tissue. First point in this is that it is the cancer, it is a type of cancer, it is the cancer of the epithelial tissue. This is the key point you have to remember. And this is going to originate from ectoderm and the endoderm. We know that we have three germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, and this one is going to originate from the ectoderm and endoderm. So ectoderm, endoderm, such as skin, other internal organs of the body. So ectoderm, endoderm and the other internal organs of the body. And okay, so internal organs like what you can say, like internal organs of the breast, prostate gland. So what are all the internal gland organs are there? From there you can guess that this is the carcinoma. Okay, because usually it starts with the epithelial tissue. And about 85% of the human cancer are carcinomas. How many percent? About 85% of the carcinomas, human carcinomas. Okay. And example for this, example we can give the example of breast cancer. It is a carcinoma. Okay. And then the next example, skin cancer, skin carcinoma. And then next one is choriocarcinoma. This is choriocarcinoma. It is about on the womb, okay, uterus. There you can find out this cancer. Actually, you can say in short, you can say it is the cancer of the placenta. Okay, and the main point here you have to remember is epithelial tissue. You can see in the KSET examination in the old question papers, there we have a question on this type. Okay, watch. So that's why I am saying this is the key point: epithelial tissue carcinoma. So so you have to remember this so that you can solve the that question paper like in the year 2012, 2013 to 2014. So maybe mostly on that period the question is on this on the type of cancer. And the next one is sarcoma. Okay, second type is sarcoma. Here sarcoma, any cancer that arises in the connective tissue, okay, which is going to arises in the connective tissue of the body is called as sarcoma. And these cancers of the tissues originate from mesoderm. So as I said before, it has, we know that we have three germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So usually mesoderm, it is usually originated from the mesoderm. That is, you can say in the bone, cartilage, and then blood, lymph vessels, fibrous tissues and muscles. So this sarcoma usually originate from all these parts. Okay, and you can and also the next point here is that only about 2% of the human cancers are sarcomas. How many percent? Only 2% of the human cancers are sarcomas. And example for these sarcomas are, you can give the example, that is the first example is osteogenic sarcoma, and the next example is multiple myeloma. This is also called as Kohler's disease. Okay, it is causes to the plasma cell. You can say plasma cell cancer. It is actually attack to the immune system. Okay, multiple myeloma. So if you have to remember, key point here is that whenever you heard the word sarcoma, you have to remember this is going to originate from the connective tissue. Okay, so that's how you can remember. We will move on to the next type. The next type is the third one, that is lymphoma. So now we will look at the points on the lymphoma, the third type of cancer here. Lymphoma, it is the cancer of the lymphoid tissue. Okay, it is the cancer of the lymphoid tissue like spleen and lymph nodes. Okay, and then it is the next point is here, it is characterized by abnormal increase in the number of the lymphocytes. Okay, so lymphocytes, what are these lymphocytes? Lymphocytes are nothing but one type of WBC, right? Okay, or you can say leukocytes. And we can say only 5% of the human cancer are lymphoma. And the examples for the lymphoma are Hodgkin's lymphoma. In short form, it is also called as HL. You can say it is a blood cancer. So if it is in the early stage, it is called as Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the next one is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and this is in the short form, it is called as NHL. Okay, and it is more advanced stage of the blood cancer. Okay, so these are the two types of examples. And remember, if you heard the type of cancer, that is lymphoma, which is usually going to originate from the which type of tissue? A type of tissue called as lymphoid tissue, that is spleen and lymph nodes. Okay, so that's about the third type of cancer. We will move on to the next, that is fourth type here. The fourth type of cancer, that is leukemia. So I guess we are more familiar with the word leukemia, it seems. Okay, and this leukemia, this is commonly called as blood cancer, and it is characterized by the abnormal increase in the WBCs. Okay, nothing but the leukocytes. Okay, so that's how it is characterized, and only about 4% of the human cancer. Okay, only about 4% of the human cancers are leukemias. And example for these leukemias are, example I can give the example, that is ALL. ALL means acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And the second example which I'm going to take is CLL. CLL means chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Okay, these are the two types of leukemia cancers. And these cancer cells, here the cancer cells replaces the hematopoietic cells of the bone marrow. So these then which gives rise to all other blood cells. Okay, these which one? Hemopoietic cells are which are cells of the bone marrow. So these hematopoietic cells, actually what is the function of these hemopoietic cells? Actually these will actually give rise to different kinds of blood cells. But what happens in case of who have got the cancer, leukemia cancer, these hematopoietic normal cells are replaced by cancer cells. That's why they can't give rise to different kinds of blood cells. So what happens? Only one type of blood cells are going to form in an excess form. Okay, so actually it affects the B lymphocytes. People with chronic leukemia, this one, second type, chronic leukemia may not have any symptoms in the beginning, but slowly it becomes worse as the number of leukemia cells go on increasing. And people with acute lymphoblastic leukemia will have abnormal blood cells from the beginning itself. Okay, so it is characterized, as I mentioned before, it is characterized by the increase in the number of WBC. We know that this certain amount of WBC only should be present, but here what happens, the amount will be raised above that, number of WBC will be more. Okay, so that's about the leukemia. And we will move on to the next type, that is fifth type, that is melanoma. So this one is easy, melanoma. Here the melanoma, it is the cancer of the cells which contains melanin pigments. Okay, it is the cancer of the cells which contains melanin pigment. So nothing but melanocytes. Okay, the key word here is one which you have to remember is melanocytes. So these actually gives the color to the skin. Okay, it is a skin cancer. So the cause for this is excessive exposure to the sun rays, we can say UV rays, UV lights. So even for the childs also, from the beginning itself you can see the melanocytes, and even it is a genetic disorder also. but even from the childhood, if you exposed more to the sunlight later in the ages, that child may after growing, the child may get this melanoma. Okay, so this is the simple explanation that I have given a few important points on these types. So why I have made this video is, in most of the questions you can write the long answer as well if you ask in the examinations. So this is about the information, and even you can remember the key points here. So this is for the KSET examination as well. Carcinoma, epithelial tissue; sarcoma, connective tissue; lymphoma, lymphoid tissue; leukemia, blood cancer, that is increase in the number of WBCs; and melanoma, it is a melanin pigment, that is it affects the melanocytes. I am hoping this video is very helpful. If this video is helpful, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you everyone.